Alright, while this is fresh on my mind, alright, everybody out there in the Craft Chest Nation, as I Craft Chest here, and I had that befuddled look on my face, quite simply because I had to go back and read the summary on Blizzard's opening for Blizzcon, and we were all anticipating a lot. There's been a lot of speculation all year long building up to BlizzCon as far as what they're working on, as far as not only Diablo, but for all the games that Blizzard has out. They have been quite busy this year with all the other games, and Diablo 3, as usual, is the last little bastard to get taken care of. And this opening announcement is the same. They're not doing anything that should not be expected for a game such as Diablo. And to be quite honest with you, I'm rather disappointed. And I know a lot of people out there going, Craft Chest, you're the D2 king. I mean, you're the one that should be excited about such things. No. Here's the reason why. You know, I've had all kind of friends of mine, not just Guntoad and several other peoples out there that know me from the D2 days and Diablo 3 right now. But I've wondered why several of them waited to play. And all of them saying, well, I want to know what's coming up at BlizzCon, the announcements, what are they going to do, what are they going to add, they're working on something, is it Diablo 4? And that's what everybody speculated, and alas, what we get is the Necromancer class, which I played all but like twice in the entire era of playing Diablo 2. I guess it might have been more than that. I think I made a Poison Necro once, a Poison Nova, and a couple other ones, I guess. 2 or 3 times I played it. But mainly, I just used the Necromancer as a mule because, and I think, maybe that's where they went back and got their statistics, because that's about all the Necromancer was good for me. Now, a good Poison and Bone Spear Necro was pretty fun to play at times, and all the curses that they had and all that, but never really got into that character. So, the splash, or the image that was leaked out this past week, really gave no big surprise to the opening ceremonies for BlizzCon. And the reason why I'm disappointed in it is that not only is it going to be so far off in adding this, people's been waiting for new content. Now we have to wait until 2017. Yet again, they're not going to release anything, right now. Like a lot of companies, they say, not only are we going to have this announcement, but we're going to release it now. But now we have to wait. Next week, they are going to update on the public test servers, which I don't understand why we have to put it on the public test servers. I guess just for stability and feedback and what have you. But they are adding an interesting feature to the game, which is the nostalgia part of it, being that it's a 20-year anniversary of the original Diablo, which is called, I think, Darkening of Tristram. What is this? The Darkening of Tristram. 16-level dungeon in the cathedral. You'll encounter 4 main bosses and the original Diablo. That right there, I guess, is kind of exciting, because a lot of us have talked about going back and playing the original Diablo. I don't know what this is going to look like, because they're adding music and pixelation filters to the game. I don't know. We'll see how that is. Of course, you'll have tons of people playing it. I'll probably be one of them, but my wait is over. I mean, I've been wanting to play the new ladder for Diablo 3, just quite simply because there's a lot of games out there that are out and not really interested in any of them that I can afford. There are a couple of them that just I can't make it rain on, like Titanfall 2. I'd love to play that, but I don't want to digress on any of the games out there. That game actually looks good, though. But the opening ceremonies for BlizzCon and the announcement for Diablo, whatever. I don't know what else to say about it. And I know that probably is going to get a lot of hate from people. But you know what? I'm sorry. We were expecting a lot more. Content that they're adding to it is 2 new areas. 2 new areas, not even an act, not even an expansion pack, but just 2 new areas in adventure mode. Ooh, fucking ah. That right there, to me, just lets me know, like I said earlier, It's just Diablo 3's little bastard. You know, they're on the last burner because now they have all this other stuff happening with the Overwatch League, and they have the Heroes of the Storm, all this additions, characters, and this, that, and the other on the other games. And Diablo is kind of being, left to the wayside. And I think eventually it'll probably just be left as a legacy game, just as Diablo 2 was. And before I get off of here, now that I'm done with that, here's what we were looking for. We were looking for the true Diablo players, the true Diablo peoples that have played this for the past 20 years. What we wanted was Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction HD. Remastered version of that. They never even mentioned anything other than the Necromancer from Diablo 2 being added to Diablo 3. Nothing even mentioned about legacy games out there. And not to say that the panel later on, I think they said it's going to be like 5 o'clock this afternoon, which I won't be watching. I'm not going to waste the rest of my day on this because I'm done. I'm just going to go ahead and play my games and do what I got to do around here and move on down the road. But that's what we wanted. We wanted to see maybe a storyline in between Diablo 2 and Diablo 3. Something. You want to go all retro on the game, but you don't want to add some super awesome content. Like, Guntoad and I were talking about, let's go back all the way before Diablo even started with, like, the Sin Wars and all that. That would be awesome content to go back to. And then, being that it's the 20th anniversary, here's something else. And I know I'm all over the place, but my mind is just going, because I love Diablo. I love it that much to be passionate about it, to voice my opinions on it like this. Here's something else. 20th anniversary of Diablo, Diablo 2, all that, okay? No mention whatsoever about the creator, David Brevet, okay? Didn't mention him, didn't bring him up. It's almost like he is all but forgotten in Blizzard itself, okay? Now, I don't even know. I don't even have the word for that. But that right there is kind of a snub of the nose to this man who gave us so much over the past 20 years. He is the original creator of this game, y'all. Okay? And there was no mention whatsoever about, in honor of the original creators. And they could have listed them all, not just him, because I know he wasn't the only one on the team. But they could have listed that and saying, these guys, boom, 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 David Brevet, were on the team of the original. They didn't even mention him. I kind of wonder what underlying tone there is between him and them. I don't know. Do they have a relationship? He never mentions them. They never mention him. I have no clue. But that right there in itself was kind of disappointing that they didn't elaborate on that. Maybe, like I said, on their D3 panel, they might go into depth and fall back on that. But for an opening ceremony, the thing that the world is seeing, the free version, if you don't have the virtual ticket, it just seems to me like they would have covered a lot more on that. But what we want, let's go back to what I was talking about. What we want as a community is content. We want to see, if you want to go retro on everybody, we want to see Diablo 2 HD. That's what we want as a community. We want things like that. We want added content, like the 20-year void between Diablo 2 and Diablo 3. That would have been something to add to the game, not just we're adding a couple of new areas and a Necromancer class next year, and oh, by the way, you're going to have to pay for it. Character pack and other content that he didn't want to elaborate on because the panel's going to pick that up. All right, so I don't know. I'm going to end it there because I know that's a rant, that's a rave, whatever, but that's my initial thoughts on it. And I'm not mad or anything about it. I'm just disappointed that we didn't get more or are not going to get more from Blizzard when it comes to the entire Diablo universe from 1 all the way up to now. And now we're going to have to wait until next year to even get a new character and new zones. I don't know. Is it a craft of the mind, you tell me? Go out there and have some fun. I know. To me it is. It is a craft of the mind. Woo!